Sum. Let's see the sum. It says 1.5 meter tall boy is standing at some distance from a 30 meter tall building. The angle of elevation from his eyes to the top of the building increases from 30 degree to 60 degree as he walks towards the building. Find the distance he walked towards the building. Now that's what the sum says. Now very first statement when you see, you realize that there is a building and a boy here. And this is the very first sum where we have the height of the observer given to us, because the height of the boy is given to us is 1.5 meter. So first we have a building and a boy, and the height of the boy is given to us as 1.5 meter, and the height of the building is known to us as 30 meter. So students, this is what we have right now. So we have a building 30 meter high and a boy 1.5 meter tall. The sum says further, the angle of elevation from his eye. Now specifically here it is given from his eye because the height is of the observer is here. So from his eye we need to take the angle of elevation to the top of the building. So we are considering the top of the building. That is what he is observing, right? So that means from here he is having this, he is observing the top, so there is a line of sight. But the moment you have an observer, first you need to have a horizontal line, and specifically here it has to be from his eye, right? So from his eye, there's a horizontal line here. And so the angle of elevation which is made when he is seeing the top of the building is 30 degree as given to us in the sum. And here it says that, the sum says that this angle of elevation increases from 30 degree to 60 degree as he moves towards the building. That means now from his position, current position, he is going to walk towards the building. See, he is walking towards the building now. See, he'll walk. He's walking, he's walking, he's walking, he's walking, he's walking. And he reaches the position now from where when he observes the top of the building again, right, this time the angle of elevation which is made with that horizontal line is 60 degree. That is what is said in the sum, right? You understood this part of the sum, very important part, right? Very first sum where you have the height of the observer given. Easy, right? It's the same concept. Then they say further, find the distance you walk towards the building. So he walked towards the building. That distance is something which we need to find, and that is what the sum says. So this is how the figure would look ultimately when you draw the entire figure. So this is what we have, students. Isn't that easy? The very important sum in terms of drawing the figure, but very, very simple when you draw it. Once you draw it, it's going to be very easy. Now observe very carefully. How are you going to think about it? Right, now let's do the description part of it. First we can say that AB represents a tower, that is a building, right? So height of the tower, that is a building, AB is given as 30 meter. Then we have the height of the observer, that is the height of the boy, CD is given as 1.5 meter. But we know that CD is nothing but it is equal to EF, it is equal to AG also. It's one and the same, right? And this distance, this length is nothing but rather 1.5 meter. So that is what we know in the sum right now. And what are we supposed to find? We need to find the distance you walk towards the building. That means we need to find the length of that EC. Now observe, students, very carefully. Before we get into that EC, now observe one thing. If you observe BG there, now this BG, isn't it a part of AB? Right? Some information which we can gather from the given information. Because we know the length of AB, we know the length of GA, so we can actually find the length of BG, right? Because we know BG is equal to AB minus AG, and hence we get the value of BG as AB, which is 30, minus the value of AG, which is nothing but 1.5 meter. So 30 minus 1.5 is nothing but 28.5. So what we did is I just listed down, we just listed down the value which we got from the given information. So one value which we got, BG. Now you would be thinking, how will you get that EC now? Observe that EC very carefully. Now that EC belongs to a rectangle FECD. Observe, it belongs to a rectangle FECD. Now in that rectangle, observe very carefully that EC, if we want, EC is nothing but same as FD. That means if we want to get EC, we actually need to get the value of FD, because opposites of a rectangle are equal, right? So that means if we want DC, we need to get the value of FD. Now focus here very carefully. I want you to think, and you are going to get the answer for this. Observe. So we are saying we want FD. Now how will you get FD now? Observe, FD is nothing but it's a part of that segment GD. So when you are saying that GD is nothing but it is GF plus FD, right? So we can say GD is GF plus FD. And from that, from this equation, you are saying that you want the value of FD. So from this equation, we can say that FD is nothing but it is GD minus GF. So my dear students, what I want you to understand is, in this sum, if you want the value of FD, For that, there are two things we need to obtain. We need to get the value of GD and the value of GF. If we get this, we'll get the sum. Now students, what I want you to do is, I'm giving you a hint and you're going to solve it on your own. This sum. GF is a part of triangle BGF. So take trigonometric ratio there, apply, and you'll get the value of GF. GD is a part of right angle triangle BGD. Apply trigonometric ratio there and you'll get the value of that. Now this is what I've left you with. I want you to focus, get the value of GD, get the value of GF, and you get the value of FD. And if you get FD, you got EC and you got the sum. Isn't that easy? I'll be back. I want you to solve. I'll be back with the answer.